Boys from Magic Mike are warming up. You right, Dom?
We're all warming up.
Don't go away.
It is one of Australia's oldest and largest wineries, but last month Chinese authorities busted a counterfeit operation selling fake Penfolds wine worth an estimated $26 million. The scheme, which was believed to be running for 3 years, was offloading cheap product in fancy-looking bottles.
And overseas, and last week, America's Department of Homeland Security seized 169,000 items of phony Super Bowl memorabilia, from copies of Tom Brady jerseys to imitation championship rings. The haul could have fetched up to $56 million.
Now, thanks to COVID and the rise in online shopping, counterfeit products have surged. So today we're revealing the red flags and clues you haven't got what you paid for, and the legal loopholes if you are caught with a lookalike.
Joe Ucukalo from Handle My Complaint joins us now live from Brisbane. Hey, Joe, good to see you.
Good morning.
How much money is lost to counterfeit products each year?
Counterfeit is big business. It accounts for about 3% of global trade, all the items that are bought and sold around the world, which is about $700 billion a year. That's huge.
It sure is. And Nike, I mean, one of the biggest of them all, suing more than 1,000 websites and social media accounts for allegedly selling knockoff versions of its shoes. I mean, it's pretty easy to copy well-known products, right?
Yeah, it is very easy, and the scammers are getting more and more sophisticated, which means it's not that easy to spot. And this is huge action by Nike to take against counterfeit merchandisers. And, you know, it just goes to show how important it is to the brands to protect the value of the brand. So there's one side where people buy counterfeit products thinking that they're not doing any harm, but then there's another side where people buy things thinking they're legitimate and that they're going to be endorsed and supported by the brand, and they turn out to be fake.
Yeah. OK, so that's wine and that's shoes. What are some of the most common fakes, the other ones?
Oh my gosh, look, if you can buy it, you can buy a fake one is basically the rule. But look, you know, toys are very common. Car parts, which is quite surprising, but that's a popular one. Cosmetics, including perfume, fashion, handbags, electronics, particularly mobile phones. We see a lot of people with fake mobile phones, and they have lots of problems following that.
OK, so can a purchaser, so the shopper, can they be fined for carrying counterfeit goods, say a knockoff wallet or sunnies?
Look, that's a great question, Kylie. In the short answer, legally, yes, they could. But look, the likelihood of when you're in Australia of you getting fined for, you know, your personal use of a counterfeit product is really low. But in Italy, for example, if they catch a tourist buying from an illegal vendor, it could be up to $11,000 fine. So, you know, it is a risk. And what's interesting is the brands are taking more and more precautions to safeguard their own products. So we had an example this week of, you know, fake cherries. Australian cherries were being bought and sold in China, and they have a QR code that shows that they weren't the legitimate product. So that helped, you know, police over in Hong Kong bust the cartel. Yeah.
OK, so thanks to coronavirus, we're internet shopping more than ever before. How can the everyday consumer, Joe, tell the difference between a real and a fake product online? Because that's where it gets really tricky, right?
Yeah, it is really tricky, and we're seeing, you know, almost 1 million new shoppers, new online shoppers due to coronavirus. So it's really important that you take some time before you buy these items. So have a look at the website. Does it look reputable? You know, can you ask for more information, for more photos? You really need to look at the reviews. Like, you really need to start looking and sensing to see if this is a product that looks legitimate. If it's heavily discounted, why is that so? If you have received the item, you know, before you assume that it's the real thing, you know, have a look at it. Does the packaging look right? Is there any spelling mistakes? Does it taste right? Does it smell wrong? You know, ask yourself those questions. And, you know, if you do find a fake product, it is worthwhile reporting it to the authorities.
But what are we doing to keep counterfeiters at bay, Joe? Because you can go to any market anywhere, and they're proudly displayed, the fakes. Like, it's not like they're hard to spot. Why aren't they being clamped down upon?
They're so prevalent. Yes. So if you think of all the counterfeit products, you had the example out of the Super Bowl. You know, there's so many items out there, and you know, it's hard for the authorities to keep up. For example, you know, there was a warning out in Cairns around counterfeit $50 notes. Like, They're just so widespread. But the regulators, the authorities are interested to know, and so are the brands. So if you come across a fake brand, let the brand know, and they'll do the hard work of following up on it.
Okay, so we know when we're in the markets in Kuta and you see the Gucci bag for $6, you know it's probably not a Gucci bag. But online, let's run through it one more time as we say goodbye. How can we avoid buying phony items online?
Have a look, buy from a reputable website.
Yeah.
Have a look for any price variations. Check for reviews, check for ingredients, and have a look at the seller's history. If you're going to buy something that you think is legitimate, do spend the time, you know, ask your friends where they get their products from, potentially. Just don't rush those purchases.
OK, all good advice. Jo Ucukalo, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jo.